so let's get started. Again, just so, because the sound wasn't on, let me tell you guys again quickly what I'm doing. Sorry about that. Technology, right? So today I'm going to be talking to you guys about the differences between Adobe Illustrator, Photoshop, and InDesign, and I'm going to discuss what the differences are by doing a little quick walkthrough of each program. So I think there can be confusion sometimes on what the differences are between the three, and so I just want to give you guys kind of a little heads up of what they are and how they're different, etc. But today I'm just going to go over these three programs just so you guys can understand what I'm doing and understand what the differences are of these awesome programs and how to use them. So I'm going to start off with Adobe Illustrator. And in Adobe Illustrator, it's probably the program I use the most. So there is a lot of things you can do with Adobe specifically, but it is mostly known for exactly what it says in its title, which is Illustrator. So illustrating. It's where you can create a lot of vectors, a lot of graphics. You're able to create little icons and stuff like this guy, which I hand drew in the program, and you can size and manipulate it however you want. It's a graphic program, so if you hear the term vector or vector art, that's what this little guy is. You're also able to take text like this and turn it into outlines. So now each one of these little guys is also a vector, and I can move it and separate it from its text, which is really cool. Illustrator, again, is just a really fun illustrated program where you can just kind of play with some stuff and draw things. There's lots of tools available. There is this little tool over here called the pen tool, and that's how you can like make points and curves and just do some really fun shapes and things. And this is how you can kind of like ways you can draw. Basically, there's the paintbrush tool where you can kind of do some writing, and you can change like a lot of what you do in here with your brush stroke and how it looks and everything. So it's a really fun way to illustrate and to create graphics, social icons, stuff like that. I've done a video earlier in our Facebook group about specifically doing stuff in Illustrator, so look for that. I'll try to find the link and put it in the comments later. Illustrator, again, I use it for a lot, laying out graphics like this one. I use it for creating logos and illustrating, and I do my own writing like this guy. So if you are interested in learning more about Illustrator, just put a 1 in the comments so I know, and I will make sure that I put some more videos specifically on how to use Illustrator later. And then I'm going to see if it'll allow me to switch my screen really quickly. Give me 1 second. Now I'm going to switch to Photoshop. Alright, this is such a fun program. I'm really liking it so far. Okay, so Photoshop, a lot of people tend to use it for different types of graphics as well. You can use Photoshop because there's a lot of features in there that are very specific to different styles, kind of like airbrushing or painting or that watercolor effect. You can get a lot of that from Photoshop. So sometimes I play between Photoshop and Illustrator and combine the two programs. The other thing is with Photoshop, you can manipulate photos, which is what a lot of people do, and you've probably heard the term, oh, she looks photoshopped or whatever. This is the platform people use for that, and it's more than just an editing tool. A lot of people use like Lightroom or something like that to edit photos for photography. Photoshop tends to be more of a correction or adjustment, like photo manipulation, illustration kind of platform. So just to give you guys an example, this is a project I did years ago. I did a lot of young adult fantasy novel covers. So just to give you an example of how you can manipulate in Photoshop and create like fun stuff like that, I actually bought 2 different photos. So I bought this one and this one, and I tried to find a photo where the girl was kind of facing the same direction and her neck was kind of in a little bit in the same proportion, which you can kind of see here. She sort of turned around the same way, and what I did, if you're ready for this, is I combined them. So I really liked the dress and the style, but the girl that I was looking for was younger, had brown hair, and I wanted her to be a part of this. So I adjusted her to be on this girl, and that's kind of something you can do with Photoshop. So you can also see she's kind of got these hazel eyes here, and in the final photo she's got really, really pretty blue eyes. And so, like I said, it's meant to be a Photoshop. It's meant to be a little dreamlike specifically for this project because it was a fantasy cover. And then the final cover, which is even more adjustment was adding the background. So this is the final book with her selected text and everything, and I put her in this little scene and created this kind of like magical little details in the back. And I've done a lot of these kinds of covers, and I can easily show you guys how to do some of this Photoshop manipulation, but that's just an example. It started out like this and it ended like this. So it's a really cool tool to use for photo manipulation and stuff like that. Okay, so for InDesign, basically, oh, also if you want to know more about Photoshop or what I just showed you, put a 2 in the comments so that I can know to show you guys more of that. So then with InDesign, it is it's a program people use for like creating actual documents. So people use it a lot for creating books and things like that. And I feel like I'm going to open up my fun friend Megan's book. So this is like a little pricing guide I helped her with. But this is like a layout. So it's made to create book style graphics. It's very specific to creating a packaged file that you can send to like a publisher to create a final printed version of a book. You can also use it to create PDFs and to create documents and stuff. Depending on what your program is, this is why I say I use Illustrator a lot. Depending on what program you're using, I actually tend to use Illustrator for some of this stuff too. If it's just a easy at-home PDF that you're creating that's really small and just, it doesn't have to have a lot to it. It's like pretty much like this. It's a much smaller little book. You can easily do this in Illustrator because Illustrator now has the option to create multiple pages. The difference is like if you create a book, you have like your footers and all these little extra pieces, and it's a little bit easier sometimes to do that in InDesign because when you change it one place, it changes it everywhere for you, and you can actually create footers, headers, and all of that. Yeah, if you want to create a magazine, InDesign is the tool you want to use for that. It would be how you would create, the right layout and the text and everything. You can import images and it packages it for you. And that's the part that publishers really need to have, is when you send them just a file. Like a PDF is something that you can send for print really easily if you just want to print it home or take it to a small print shop. But if you want to do like a mass publication, it's really nice to have like this file package. So in InDesign, you are able to go to, and it's been a while since I've done this because like I said, I don't do this as much anymore, but you can package your file. So if you hit package, you can choose how to package your file. And basically what it does is it creates a nice little folder for you. It has all of your links, all of your fonts and everything put into this folder, and it's organized so that when it's packaged, you're able to send that packaged file to your publisher or whatever, and they're able to take that and send it for print and get it all ready and make sure all the links are working and everything. And it warns you too, as you can see here, there's seven missing links, which is the images I have because it's an old file and I don't have them anymore. So when you do that, you're able to just have everything nice and ready to go for packaged, ready to go for print in a nice packaged file. So that's what InDesign is primarily used for. You are able to illustrate a little bit in there, and you're able to kind of create some illustrative graphics, but I pretty much use the programs that I know for what they're for specifically. So I tend to use, like I said, InDesign for specifically creating big files. So I would normally create something much bigger than this particular book, and it would be really easy to create and build. And you can see like the spread, so you're able to know like this is page 1 and page 2. You can see what the spread looks like side by side, and it's a nice way to lay that out. So that's kind of what the 3 different programs are. Again, Illustrator is more for graphics and vector art. Photoshop is for photo manipulation and adjusting images and combining and editing, photoshopping. And then InDesign is specifically for creating larger documents like books or magazines, and that's what they're best used for. Again, you can kind of use all 3 a little bit differently by using, you can kind of illustrate a little bit in Photoshop. You can kind of create, hand lettering in Photoshop. There's like a little bit of each in each program, but specifically those are what those are for. And yeah, hopefully this was a little bit helpful for you guys. If you want to learn more about InDesign 2, put a 3 in the comments, and then I'll be able to do some more videos on that. And that's it. So if you guys have any questions for me, leave comments below, and I will definitely get back to you guys. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys later.